So this is part 3 in the free course on the 7 best ways to generate seller leads for your real estate business. And the strategy that I'm actually going to break down for you today is what we call a dynamic suburb report campaign. And in its simplest form, a suburb report campaign or a neighborhood report campaign if you're in the US, and exactly how to create this. Now, I've never actually seen anyone talk about this specific type of campaign online. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use this to generate a boatload of leads and actually generate listings, how to set it up within your business, the exact templates to use. So let's dive in. So part 3 out of the 7 lead generation strategies that we're going over, and this is our dynamic suburb report campaign. So some of you might be doing suburb reports or neighborhood reports that you're using, that you're giving to people on an at-needed basis. Maybe you have tried, giving them to people on ads, and they haven't performed really well. Well, this is our exact strategy that we know works, amazing in all kinds of different types of areas and markets for actually getting people downloading it that have that potential interest in selling or looking at really what they can be doing with their property in their market. So we can see, in a bit of an example of what this type of ad, looks like. Very simple, very simple, very similar to the price update ads that we ran in LeadGen strategy 1. But here, we're really focusing on, still how much is your home worth, but again, they're getting access to, in this case, this is a US client, so they're getting access to a neighborhood report. So it's an instantly downloadable report. And here we're actually giving the value up front. So they're able to actually click on it, just fill in their information and instantly download that report. And then from there, our sales process, we can follow up on the people that have downloaded that report and find out what interested them about the report, why they were looking to get access to it, if they had any questions about it. And it's a really good conversation starter that can lead to us getting more appraisals or getting to that next step in the process of working with these homeowners and getting to eventually listing more properties with people in our farm areas, right? So that's how these work. We call these dynamic because we have a very unique way of doing these, where we actually can have one big document or one big PDF that's dynamic, and we can actually click on the specific neighborhood, and that person can click on the specific neighborhood, which takes them to the specific suburb report, and then they can go to another one, and they can do this all within the same dynamic document. Now, that's a little bit outside the scope of this video, because really I just want to go over how you can actually set this strategy up and how it actually works. And really, this is going to lead to a major influx of potential opportunities. And we can see here, so this is a dynamic document that we created for one of our done for you clients. As part of our process, we will set up more sophisticated stuff like this. So it'll be in a dynamic digital PDF, and then that homeowner can actually select that specific suburb for themselves, and then that's going to link to the appropriate suburb report based off where they click on this actual report that we see here. So for instance, it could feature, for example, Surfers Paradise, Broad Beach, and Palm Beach. And if they were to select Surfers Paradise, it would then dynamically take them to the specific suburb report and data for Surfers Paradise. So yeah, we can see that here, which is pretty nifty. But again, as I mentioned, for simplicity's sake, you can use whichever default suburb reports that your own internal agency or brokerage software generates for you. So whether you're using RP Data, whether you're using Realtor or another tool that does something like this, most agencies do have a way to instantly generate reports. So you can just get these, and then you can link them to the end of the lead form, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that as well. And basically, from there, they'll be able to go onto that thank you page on the lead form. So similar to how we set up the first price update ads, we're just going to go through, and instead of them having a booking page at the end, we can just have this download for the instantly downloadable guide. And yeah, just adding that PDF file as an attachment on the last step of the lead form. So on that thank you page of the lead form, as we went over in step 1 and that lead generation strategy 1. And it's also worth mentioning here that a really well put together follow-up and nurture sequence to ensure that they've actually received that Suburb report is pretty important when it comes to really maximizing our conversion rates and the response rates. But again, the setup for that is going to be outside the scope of this guide, and it's going to require multiple softwares and a more complicated setup. And we can see here with this client, this is some of the follow-up that we've set up for one of our done for you clients. This is an automatic sequence. We can also have AI follow up on it in more advanced setups. But here I've basically given you the same as in our first lead generation strategy that we went over. We actually have the entire ad copy, headline, description, call to action, and the initial creative template that you can go in and use. So I've basically made it as simple as possible for you. And we can see, again, budget's going to be very similar to that first social media strategy we went over. So we want to be running these ads on a minimum of $20 to $33 a day for best results. And that is also going to depend on your market, the lead costs. We've seen them hover somewhere from $5 all the way up to $30 per lead in the short term. So let's dive into exactly how to set this up. So this, if we go into our campaign here, so this is the one we set up for our price update ad. We can see we set it up on the campaign level. So we went in here, we created a new campaign. And basically that took us to here where we set up our daily budget of $33 a day. We selected leads, so we had access to the lead form, and we turned on Advantage campaign budget. So we selected on there, and then we were able to go to the ad set level where, again, we made sure instant forms were selected. I named the ad set primary markets, which was targeting just the specific markets that I wanted to target, and had our performance goal maximize number of leads. I selected the Facebook page that I wanted it to run from, and we can see that Facebook page is there. And then I scroll down. Obviously I can change the schedule for the run time, but we can also see the actual audience controls. So this is where I actually set the initial location. So if I was to go through and show you how to do this again for setting up these Suburb report campaigns, we're basically going through, and in this case, so we go through, we can see main beach. So in this case, I want to target the suburbs, or my farm areas in this case are Southport, Main Beach, and Surfers Paradise in Queensland. So I really want to set radius circles that are big enough to cover that entire place. Now, in this case, because we're doing suburb reports, we really want this to probably be suburb specific. So instead of last time when I was running this as a primary market, I'm actually going to do one. Let's say I'm just targeting surfers. Targeting Surfers Paradise. So I'm creating that ad set for Surfers Paradise, and I'm selecting, again, instant forms, so this should all be the same. But then when we actually get to, so when we go down to the actual targeting on the ad set level, so unlike last time where we selected all of those together, in this case I just want to do Surfers Paradise and in Queensland, Australia. So we're going to go Surfers Paradise neighborhood. Now we can see it's kind of pinpointed this. This isn't how I like to set it up. So I'm actually going to just drop a pin next to that. And then I'm going to delete this, and I'm just going to use this radius circle. Service is quite a large suburb, so I'm going to go about 2 kilometers, and that should cover. It goes in a little bit to bundle. So it depends if you care if it overlaps a little bit into nearby suburbs. Generally, if you can service those areas, it shouldn't matter too much. You'll probably still, it's not going to affect our ads very much. Otherwise, you can go really define and do a 1 kilometer radius. So I think that's better because we can still see the estimated audience size is still quite large. So 52,000 to 61,000. So I'm probably just going to run with a 1 kilometer radius. And now I've got my Surfers Paradise ad set here. So that's the first thing. Is we've got our audience set up, we've got Advantage Plus placements on. So from there, we can actually move on to the ads level. So we can see these are the ones that we use for the price update ads in strategy 1. Now here, I basically am going to use all of the assets I've got available. We've got the creative template
that we're going to use here. So I'm going to go use template for new design. So you're going to have access to that. You'll be able to see the exact same template in the doc when you go through it. And we're going to use this, and we're just going to change the colors to your brand colors. So again, I'm literally just going to pretend that I'm doing it for myself. So I'm going to make this, our colors, generate listings. I'm going to do that dark navy. How much is your home worth? And this is going to be Surfers Paradise. So this is really as easy as it is. Go in here, customize this. Obviously you can change the fonts or do whatever you want with it, or adjust it a little bit, however that works. Again, I'm not making sure this is super perfect. And then sub out those properties. So I can kind of delete that and go into here and put in the specific property that I want. So actually I can just do that by just dragging and dropping. Now, of course, this isn't the actual property that I want. Basically, we can go through, edit that up. Again, I'm going to go back, change this to our colors, change that one there to our brand colors that I've got in my color palette here. So go text white. I just want to change this color. Yeah. And now I've got a matching template. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to download this template. So JPEG, PNG, doesn't really matter what you download it as. So download that. And we're going to be able to use this template for our ads. So in this case, I've literally just got the one template here. So I'm going to go to add one. Delete this one that we used before. But again, I can just use this existing campaign that I built out and just duplicate it, edit it. So that's an easy way to create ads if you already have an existing campaign that you've been running. So in this case, I'm just going to go in here, I'm going to add image, and then I'm going to upload it from my computer. Yep, and there's my creative. I'm going to upload that. Cool, I'm going to select that. And then it's going to take us here. We're just going to quickly make these all original so it all fits the frame. We can see that's all fitting the frame. We can move on. So now we've got our creative. Now we can plug in our new text that we're using for this ad. So copy that. Copy that. Again, substitute that for our Suburb text. But then this is just a really easy one that you can use. Homeowners. So make sure you read it through to make sure it all sounds right for your market. So this is 2024 now, so I need to update that. This is Paradise. Suburb report, download today. Okay, so we're going there. We're going to input our headline, free instant Suburb report. So keeping it pretty simple. And do you know what your home's worth? So that's got the same description. We can leave that there. And yeah, call to action. You can either use learn more, or you can actually use a download call to action. Normally I'll keep it just learn more basically. And now from here, I'm going to set up the lead form pretty much the exact same way as this one. So this is the appraisal form that we used before. How soon are you looking to sell? And full name, street address, email, phone number. And then it's got submit, and then it's got the thank you page on the back end. So I'm going to use this, but I'm just going to duplicate, and I'm just going to edit a couple things. I'm going to call this. So if you're going through this guide, you've probably watched video 1 in this series, and that obviously goes over the price update ads, how to set up these forms initially. So you already have a lead form set up, and you'll just be able to duplicate and just create a new one for this type of ad. So you can learn how this process works. So I'm just going to go through and say Suburb report. or it could be neighborhood report if you don't really call them suburbs where you're watching this. More volume. We're not really using the intro, so we can just kind of skip that. Questions. We can see how soon are you looking to sell. We've already got that set up. So basically the way you'd set that up is you go multiple choice custom question in the custom question section, put in the question 1, how soon are you looking to sell, and then make the answers now, 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months plus, and just curious. So that's how I've set this up. And then in the pre-fill questions, this here, we need to go, I've just put in the description, fill in your details below to find out the true value of your property, and then made it so it's full name, street address, email, and phone number. So that's what the person fills in. And then the privacy policy, again, link that to your company's privacy policy. I've just taken this off our website and our privacy policy here, which we can see at the bottom. I've literally just taken this and I've copied and pasted that into the privacy policy here, and then the link text I've just got a privacy policy. But you will need that to run this, and then message for leads. So this is the thank you page that we can see. So we want to set it up like what we saw here, where it just says thanks, you're all set. So I'm just going to make it the same. Thanks, you're all set. Just click download to get your instant copy today. So just click load to get your instant copy today. So we've got that. And then we're going to go view file. So now we can actually import our PDF guide. So obviously you just have this ready here. And I'm just going to go download, put it all in caps as the text, and then I'm actually able to put in that PDF. So again, click add media, go in there, I'm just going to go report. So then again, this is not my Suburb report, this is actually just something I downloaded off the internet, but we see it says Queensland Property Market Report. So again, find the file that you're using, whether you've gotten that from something you've downloaded from an RP Data, a Realtor, one of those different types of softwares, or something your agency already has a generator for. Or obviously, you know, you can work with us and we can help you build out all of these assets. But for the sake of this video, you should have kind of something that you can use, or an ability to create that. Most agencies or brokerages have something for creating suburb or neighborhood reports. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to make that, upload that, and now we can see they're actually going to get instant download when they click that download button on the call to action, and now I can go create form. And perfect. Now we've got our first, instant form suburb report ad. We can see that here, we can see the full ad, and we can see it's linked to that form. So from here we can publish, and we're going to be able to run it for that area. In this case, I'm actually going to delete this second ad because I don't have a second variation. If I wanted to make a really quick second variation, I'd probably just, for you guys, because I'm just trying to make it super simple, by just providing a simple ad that we know works, we can just reverse the order of the colors here to create a second variation, or you can just do different properties on the template as well. But for here, I'm just going to reverse that, and then I'll download that as well. And yeah, I'm just going to do page 2 download, and now I can actually create a different variation. So I'm not going to delete it anymore. I'm actually going to go through. Actually, I might delete it just so I can. Just because I want to duplicate ad 1. Because if I just go quickly duplicate here, click the 3 dots, quickly duplicate, we can see it's saved everything from the first ad with all the ad copy and stuff that we want. So that makes our life a bit easier. So now I'm going to call that ad 2, and I'm just going to remove that and just add the media that I want. So I'm just going to add that new image in, that new image variation that we just created. So there we go. Now we get the orange headline one, we've got our navy headline one, and just simple variation of the same thing. Again, select original, done. And there we go. We've got our second variation. Nothing else needs to change. Go into the same lead form. It's got the same ad copy, and that's our first ad set, which we've created for Service Paradise. And we've got this on a $33 budget going to our instant suburb report. So from here, I'm going to actually duplicate this into 2 other ad sets. So this is how we can do suburb specific, because at the moment we've got one for Service Paradise, but if you remember, I want to target both Southport and I also want to target Main Beach. So I'm going to create 2 copies, the exact same one. I'm going to call the first one Main Beach, and I'm just going to quickly run through here, make sure everything's set up how we want it. And we go here, audience controls, remove that. And we can see Main Beach up here, drop pin, make that 1 kilometer, because that's, I know Main Beach is a very small suburb, so that's probably fine. And then, so that's that ad set. I can go to my other ad set here and make this Southport. So that's my third area that I'm targeting. Again, go down here, delete it, find Southport on the map because I've already got it up here. I can drop a pin, drop on Southport, and see what 1 kilometer, is that big enough? Southport's quite large, so maybe I can even get away with like a 2 kilometer radius. Yeah, so maybe I would do a 2 kilometer. It goes slightly into Main Beach, but we don't mind if it targets Main Beach because it's one of our farm areas anyway, right? So there we go. The only thing we need to change here on these 2 ad sets is obviously we're gonna have to go in, duplicate these creatives and change the creatives, add the properties specific for that suburb in our template here, and obviously change all the text so it lines up with the specific suburb. So that was Southport, I can do that. Obviously I'm not going to do that now, but that is all you need to do. The lead form is still going to be the same. We just need to make sure, and obviously we need to make sure you're changing the ad copy names to the specific suburb on inside of our ad copy that we've pasted in here as well. And yeah, that is how to set up a lead form campaign for a dynamic suburb report. Obviously this is the non-dynamic version. That is a bit outside the scope of this particular guide and this particular strategy. But this that I've got over here will get you started and just link it to any kind of suburb or report that you have for that specific suburb. And this works. It's another way of getting in more leads, getting more conversations with potential sellers.
All right, so if you want to check out the last video in the video series because you haven't checked that out yet, then click somewhere on the screen. It'll be somewhere, an element that is going to pop up on the screen there for you. So click that. If you have already seen that, then I'll see you in the next video and I'll see you soon.